this year, and that story that was just told to us fits right in with our message today, so it's perfect. During this time of year, we're supposed to rejoice and celebrate. In fact, we're supposed to be of good cheer. But sometimes, however, we feel that we have too many things to do, so little time to do them, and that we might feel harried or hurried. Or, for some, this time of year brings up past hurts, regrets, sorrows, or particularly we feel a loss if we lost someone this year. And that's what it feels like. It's not a new thought term to say I lost someone, but you know what, I'm going to say it anyway. You know, because that's what it feels like to the person grieving. Perhaps it was recent, and perhaps it was in distance. And as Joan just told us, just brings up all of this sadness, and it can even bring up depression. It is my intention, my desire, that we can come together each week this month to take a deeper look at what there is to cheer about as we reflect on the spiritual dimensions of the holiday season, which we are officially in. And today we're going to take an interesting look at 3 particular holidays so that we can cheer for them. In religious science, we believe that God is, well, we believe for us to understand that the God that we believe in, this energy force that we believe in, has a triune nature. That's what we teach. And we teach it so that we can understand how we can participate consciously in it. It's the creative process. And just so you, in case you didn't know this, our logo, I don't need a mic, our logo over here, see, with happy people, that's us, we're the joyful people, and there really are, to delineate, there are 3 lines, well, 2 lines. So this is 1, 2, and this is 3. That's the triune nature that we teach in the creative process. And it's explaining 3 aspects of God via that symbol. But we know that there is no division in this energy. In fact, we are this energy. We are this God. We are this God. And for us to truly get it, the triune nature is thought in the top part. We think, we set an intention that goes into the immutable law that's in the middle, divine law, which is the doer. And on the bottom part of our symbol is the effects. It's what we experience in life. And just as we were told, we can change our thought, which will automatically go into this law that we can't see. We can't see any of it. We can't see God. And become our desired outcome. That is the whole point of the creative process, that we create our life, that we create our experiences. So we might say that this is a triune holiday because we're going to talk about 3 different holidays. Thanksgiving, even though it's past, it begins the season. Then we're going to talk about Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa as one. There's a word that I'm not going to attempt to say, where it combines all 3 together. And then we have New Year's. So those are the 3 holidays. Each holiday, when looked at from a deeper spiritual perspective, gives us a way to work more in harmony with the natural goodness of life. I'm not talking about the stuff that's taking place on this earth, because it doesn't feel good, a lot of it. I'm talking about the infinite energy that is the truth of our being, who we are, that is always for the good of that which it creates. So this is going to give us, this whole month is going to give us an opportunity to work more in harmony with that natural goodness, enabling us to change the direction if we want and the course of our lives for the good, always for the good. We move forward 1 foot at a time in a direction that is spiraling upward. We don't go backward. We never go backward. So I've made some pretty bold statements so far, and we're going to spend some time this morning deciphering what they mean and go deeper, even deeper. And I know, as I said, Thanksgiving is over, but we're going to focus on that holiday as the first. And we're going to look at it with a little different perspective. Did you know, contrary to popular belief, the Pilgrims did not start the national Thanksgiving holiday, as many people think? Not true. In fact, it began with Abraham Lincoln. Interesting, he did a lot of stuff, that guy. He proclaimed the last Thursday of each month as a national holiday to give thanks. Pretty cool. And there's something very specific that he created this holiday for. There was a purpose behind proclaiming this day of thanks. And that was the very intention that he wanted to accomplish was, does anyone know what it was? You found out about Lincoln, right? He wanted to heal our country. He wanted to heal it and the families divided by the Civil War, the wounds and destructions from that war. He wanted to proclaim forgiveness and love and reunite all the citizens of this country as a single family. That's the intention behind Thanksgiving. He thought that proclaiming a day to give thanks as a national holiday would accomplish this purpose. Not so much, but you know what? It was a great intention. So we do come together, sometimes not happily with families, and sometimes happily with families, or friends, or community, as we're here today. He thought that proclaiming that holiday would fill that purpose. He wanted to transform lives and heal relationships, and thus heal this country. And that's why Thanksgiving holiday was born, which I think is a wonderful perspective. So the first holiday of the triune nature of this holiday season, which sets the tone and prepares the way for others, is the holiday based on giving thanks. And it's based on the healing of old wounds and separation. Those feelings that we don't belong or we don't fit in. And forgiveness. We always have to forgive. We don't have to. We can choose to or not live in regret. And love. That's what Abraham Lincoln intended for us. So, first, about the healing. I have 3 quotes from Ernest Holmes about each of the topics of the holidays I'm going to go through. The first one, the healing power of gratitude. In your Science of Mind textbook is on page 447. If we wish to come to spirit for the healing of our wounds, let us come with thanksgiving, for a thankful heart is in harmony with life. And the second, about the healing power of forgiveness. This is on page 439. How often we condemn when we should forgive. How often censor when we might praise. What untold grief of heart might be relieved by words of cheer and wholeness, forgiveness, remembering that Spirit holds no evil against us and that God is love. We should emulate this divine lesson, he tells us, and forgive all, so that in our hearts we may be free from the burden of our own condemnation. And the third is about the healing power of love. This is on page 233. He writes this: a thought of love is always healing. If we had the full realization that love fulfills all the laws of life, that there are no restrictions, no burdens, no inhibitions to love, which is the very life within, then healing will follow. Automatically will follow. So I ask you this morning to take a deeper look at the first of the triune holiday season by seeking what in your heart needs reconciliation. What old wounds are you carrying around that must be healed in order for you to move more cheerfully through life, more in peace? And what today, what this morning might you let go of through forgiveness, through gratitude? Do we really want to keep lugging those burdens around with us in life? They're so heavy. They occupy our subconscious, which we're not even aware of. That makes decisions also. So letting it go and just finding a way to forgive. Finding a way to forgive. So you get to choose. Again, that's the creative process. Thought creates. We are always at choice. So what this morning do you choose to let go of? To heal through forgiveness, thanksgiving, or love, or all of the above. Heal something that you've been holding against yourself. It's time to let it go today. No other time, it's always today. Heal something that you've been holding against someone else. And here's a helpful hint. If you feel stuck, change the question. Why did this have to happen to me? To, why did this have to happen? When we do that, we let go of victim consciousness. Because when anything begins, and you become more attuned to this, because I teach a great radical forgiveness class. When you use the words to me, why did this happen to me? God, how did you do this to me? You are a victim. And when you are a victim, there is no power. There's no power in victimhood. And this spirituality is all about moving into our natural God-given power. That's what it's about. When you do this, you will be honoring the true intent behind Thanksgiving holiday, and you will set yourself up to be able to come into the next holiday, Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa. Yeah, all three of them, holidays of light, but greater holidays, but we can enter into them with greater cheer. So, move into those holidays. And what one thing do all three holidays have in common besides light? Does anyone know? The sharing of gifts. Oh. But what I want to look at this morning is not the giving of material gifts. Okay? This morning, I'm not talking about those surface gifts. I want us all to go a layer deeper, a deeper layer, and look at being empowered to give the gift of ourselves, who we are. First of all, do you honor the gift of who you are? Do you honor that gift of who you are? Most of us don't know who we are. We each have something to offer in life. You might think you don't, but each and every one of us, no matter how large, no matter how small, no matter how dramatic or simple, and if we ignore or suppress our offering, something deep and vital within us will wither and die. We do not want to end our human experience with regret. This is a Sufi story. A poet went to see a doctor because he was quite ill, emotionally and physically. The poet said, "Doctor, I'm having all kinds of symptoms. I'm unhappy and uncomfortable. My hair, my arms, my legs are as if they are tortured." The doctor answered, "Is it not true that you have not yet given out the latest poetic composition?" "That is true," said the poet. "Well, very well then," said the doctor. "Be good enough to recite it now." He did. And at the doctor's orders, he did it again and again. And the doctor said, "Stand up, you are now cured. What you had inside you affected you. It affected your outside. The inside affected the outside. Now that it is blessed, you are healed from being sick." Remember that we are mind, body, spirit, and that the lower the vibration of our thoughts and words and actions are, then that affects our physical being. It affects our physical being. So we can cure ourselves. We can cure ourselves. So many of us are not sure what our gifts are. Well, I got a way for us to identify what our gift is. And it is to pay close attention to what you love. What do you love to do, to be? A well-known writer was asked by a university student, "Do you think I could be a writer?" "Well," the writer said, "I don't know. Do you like sentences?" The writer could see the student's amazement. "Do I like sentences? I'm 20 years old." The writer thought, if he had liked sentences, of course he could begin, like a joyful painting, a painter that he knew. I asked him how he came to be a painter, and he said, "I love the smell of paint." Do what you love, and all the other events to make it come into manifestation will present themselves in your life. And don't believe me, prove it. Do it. Just do it, because that's the way it works. You have to take the first step. And as you all know by now, but people there in video land and Facebook world might not know, I'm a quarter of a century old today, okay? Everyone knows, so I'm celebrating it, but that doesn't stop me. You know, numbers stop people. Three quarters.
Three, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry to drop that on you.
Oh, 1 quarter.
I was saying 25.
Nah, I don't want to be 1 quarter. I want to be 3 quarters because I worked hard for that. I won every year. Okay, yeah. And what do I do then? What do I do? I'm telling you, what can I do? Okay, I take another class. I take another 30-week class in advanced consciousness. Because why? Do I understand? First of all, it's quantum physics. And do I understand it? Absolutely not yet. But do I love it? Yes, I love it. So I'm supposed to be in this atmosphere. It's been 1.5 years of study now, and it will continue. It's not stopping. It will continue because I love it. I don't know what's going to happen from it. You'll probably know because I'll be talking about quantum physics quite a bit, which fits right in with Dr. Ernest Holmes' teachings. They go together beautifully. Science is proving it. Quantum science is proving it. Not the Newtonian science. Anyway, some of us stop our natural impulse to be generous because we feel afraid that our offering might not be large enough, not impressive enough. And some of us feel that our offerings will be small because we're not enough. We don't feel enough. But most beautiful things are small, loving things. The small, loving gesture. A dance party in the Berlin Mart can change someone's life.
Right.
That's how it works. It doesn't have to be a great big thing. That's how it works. Someone once said, love doesn't mean doing extraordinary or heroic things. It means knowing how to do ordinary things with tenderness. That's all we gotta do. Keep moving forward in life. And you know, someone may think that their gift isn't enough. And that, my friends, no, somebody might think that your gift is not enough. Oh, you're never gonna do that. What, crazy? You hear this? That's their problem. It's not your problem. It's their problem. So just remember that. Just smile and go, and then keep doing what you love to do. Perhaps you're simply waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect opportunity to present itself to you. Now is the perfect time. Now is the perfect time. It is alive inside you at this very moment. Ernest Holmes tells us, this is on 423, same book. To each is given what he needs, and the gifts of heaven come to all alike. How we shall use these gifts is all that matters. So, my friends, the second holiday asks us, what wonderful gifts of yourself will you share with the world? And I ask that this morning, what are you waiting for? Get going with it. And now's the time. And how you share them is all that matters. And moves us to our third in our 3 holidays. Having released and reconciled an old wound, having acknowledged and chosen to share our gifts, we now move into the last holiday in the triune holiday season and turn our thoughts to the gift of 365 days filled with unlimited potential. Because that's what we have in front of us.
Nice.
365 days of unlimited potential ahead of us. And I invite you to begin a process today. Just begin it. What is your vision of yourself in 2025? Not New Year's resolutions. Well, I don't do New Year's resolutions. But what is your intention for your vision, for yourself? And we're going to go deeper into that later on in this month. We're going to do visioning, and always we do visioning in January for the new year. There's a little process with that. But you don't even need the process. You can have the idea in your mind and vision it and believe it's already happened. That's the trick. Believe it's already happened. Because you know what? The law, which I said is immutable, is neutral. It gives back. It doesn't know the difference between an actual circumstance or imagination. It doesn't know the difference. It just knows what you're putting into it. So put into it what and how you want your life to be, how you're going to express your gifts. Then it will respond to that. It's how it does it. So, Ernest Holmes, 282, writes, as we bring ourselves to a greater vision, we induce a greater concept and thereby demonstrate more in our experience. In this way, there is a continuous growth, he says, and unfoldment that is taking place. The way to proceed is to begin right where we are. Vision it, imagine it, and know that that which you are seeking is truly seeking you. This divine energy that created us, that is us, creates, and it wants us to create. You express the infinite energy through your nature of naturally being the greatest person, that because we're on having this human experience, so we're people, person that you can be, to be as happy as you can. The Bible says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. And it also tells us that without a vision, we shall perish. Yogi Berra, who I love his books, if you don't know where you're going, you will wind up somewhere else. Think about that. You don't know where you're going, you'll wind up somewhere else. So our third and final holiday of our triune holiday season invites us to open up to a greater vision of who we are and where our lives are going. We will spend more time, as I said, on visioning later this month. Together, these three holidays and the holiday season contain elements that we may use to embrace change, because that's inevitable, and use the creative power that we know is the truth of who we are, using that power by, one, we start to heal our past, joining together as a family of humanity. Two, sharing the gifts of God's presence within us. And three, conclude with a greater vision of our life experience. We do know that transforming understanding empowers and supports each one of us in manifesting new love and a purpose to demonstrate life itself. Breathe that in. So, with that, because I'm not going to be here all day, although you're probably looking at your watch sandwich, we are going to give 3 cheers for the holidays, okay?
Okay.
We are going to, and I want you to say this with me 3 times. Hip, hip, hooray!
Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray!
And with that, we say, and so it is.